I now present the artist herself, Bernadette.
Thank you, Nina. That was a very, I would say, a very good introduction in which I feel quite overwhelmed because I know people normally talk about artists as if they're acclaimed and renowned in Guyana. Artists are not really acclaimed, they're not really renowned, you know, because I don't think artists are really appreciated here. It's just a very small section of people whom your work happens to touch. They become interested in your work. And at this stage, when I look around, I don't see the people who started out with me on this journey. I only see a few. And it reminds me that we're all getting very old. And because of migration and people dying, we don't have many people left. So I'm talking about the 80s, the 70s and the 80s, and it really sinks in when you see your audience, and you see a very young audience, and you see that they are not familiar with the context of your early work. And I myself had trouble recovering some of my early work. Some of you will forgive me if the photographs are not, they're not very clear because they are from photographs. We were not living in the digital age then, so we had only photographs. But I'd like to, before I start a PowerPoint, I would like to thank Isabel Vicaries for inviting me to do this PowerPoint presentation and giving me freedom, not directing me in anywhere. And I would like to thank the Holy House board, I think, that approved of the decision. Those people who have helped me over the years, some of them or most of them are no longer here, but I really have to mention their contributions, but I hope it comes out of my presentation. Those people who have supported my art, I see Ms. K. Wall there in the audience. I see a few people like Dave Martins, who were very enthusiastic about my paintings and the early paintings. So while I'm doing the PowerPoint, I probably would mention a very early patron of my work was Mr. David Vicaries. And he was extremely supportive. As you can see in this little gallery, you have two of my paintings in prominent positions. And I can tell you that he also brought people to see my work and to buy my work. So I'm very indebted to all those early patrons of my work, and it was probably bound up with the context in which we live, the political context, that quite a few people supported my art, and I don't think some of them are around now. So, yeah, so my work has been done in a closely connected series. A closely connected series of works. And one thing I noticed also is that my very first set of works that I painted, I developed some of those works. For example, you would see the Lotus Lily in my first exhibition in the Garden Series, which paintings derived from, influenced by the botanical gardens. And so, in that first series of paintings which I did, I developed some of those themes. So you will see the lotus expanding, the gentleman with a gun, or the gentleman at the gate of the gardens, expanding into a series, and the lotus itself expanding. Now, I have only been able to get in about 6 series because it would be too long. All the series I will, the Wounded Canvas series, A Glimpse of India series, and the Rainforest series, which were exhibited a couple of years ago will not be seen here. So I can only go into the flag installations and a few others, because not all of my paintings were part of series. Every now and then something would bother me and I would go off into a painting. So it didn't necessarily fall into a series. You will see what I mean. Now, my very first exhibition was in 1984, and I started to work in the 1980s. I was out of a job, and the situation was it was a very depressing situation. And I thought the gardens, botanical gardens, a very beautiful place where you could go and contemplate the trees and look at the beautiful flowers. It would be an ideal thing. Now, men have always, or women, men and women, mankind has always looked at the gardens as a retreat, or you could say as an escape, because it looks like paradise. And you escape from harsh political realities. Now, that happened. I just didn't go into the gardens. One of my very close friends, Mrs. Alu, decided that we would do a teaching project, and it would be poetry and reading and sketching in the gardens. We didn't say it was a teaching project because I think it was an illegal activity in those days, in the 1980s. You could not say you were doing classes or teaching to little children, so we had to mask it. And so it was called a holiday project where you would go sketching and reading poetry. And of course, she was very good, elocutive poetry. So we made the sessions very memorable for that class in the 1980s, 81, holiday classes, 81, 82, 83 in gardens. So visits to the gardens were very, very innovating, very stimulating. And I decided that when the project was over, that I would do my own life project based in the gardens. Because I remember how we read Wilson Harris over and over again. It was recorded. We read Marvin Carter. It was recorded. And I think the children enjoyed themselves. But I was very motivated by that experience. And so when the project was over, I decided I would also do fragments from the botanical gardens, fragments of life. So the first one, and I was in the habit of recording whatever I did, and I said to myself, the gardens were so peaceful and so quiet and beautiful, and there was a man at the gate with a gun, and he'd also stopped us with the school children to find out what we were going to do in the gardens, right in the gardens, a man with a gun. And even though we were trying to escape some of the political realities of the time, we could not escape that. It lingered. And when I painted the buttercups and the lotus, you have that one over there, where a few lilies blow. And I put it down at the bottom, I have desire to go in fields where flies no sharp and silent air. That's a quotation from Hawkins. So my love of poetry came out because it was the poetry that inspired me. It's the visual, scenic aspects of the gardens. But at the same time, there were things which were bothering me. And even though I painted quite a few paintings which reflected the beauty of the gardens, the man with the gun kept intruding in my consciousness. So I decided I would have him out there, not part of painting. Because we don't want to see him, we don't want him. Somebody even asked me when I exhibited that painting, would you sell me that part of the painting? I don't want the other part. I was quite astounded. I would take out this part of the painting. This is part of a reality. And this is what we don't want to acknowledge. And so I guess you will see the series which motivated that intrusion in the gardens. But generally, the gardens was also a place where lots of things happened. Trees whispering. And I remember my friend reciting, "Tell me trees, what are you whispering? When I'm dead, I shall come and lie beneath your fallen leaves." And so, going through this presentation, it was like going down memory lane and what happened at each stage. Of course, there were birds in the gardens, and the birds made a big impact on me. What was the bird? What did really... I liked the birds, and I realized in retrospect that the birds were an intrinsic part of Martin Carter's poetry. He wrote his poems, and birds were always there. The birds settled down, the birds going off in the evening, or the birds going off in the morning. And of course, it's a very simple symbol of the human spirit. The human spirit which longs to fly and escape, and sometimes it has to settle down. So Bird Island 1, the birds at rest. Bird Island 2, that's in Joan Rodriguez's collection, birds taking wing. At the time it was just the birds themselves flying and white against the green, which I was so fascinated with the visuals. But then in retrospect, you see things which you didn't intend to portray in your paintings, birds taking wing. And I guess it was a phase of my youth. The birds want to take off, the birds want to fly, the birds always want to be free. And we were not feeling free in the society that we lived in. We were totally oppressed, according to my thinking and my perception. Bird Island, the end of the season, life goes on, despite everything. And the end of the season, it reflected, I was reflecting on the death of my father. And of course at that time I felt, okay, this is really terrible, I've gotten old and I haven't done anything. And my father is dying and other people are dying. And it seems I've also reached that stage again. Anyhow, let's go on. Yeah, gentlemen in the gardens. In the gardens, you would have, I thought of the death overtaking all of us. And even the man with a gun was overtaken. And so I call that painting A Gentleman in the Gardens. This is a gentleman referring to the death. Because that was at the corner of the gardens where you had that, I think I'm trying to recall what was there, but the fence was broken and you had a lot of yellowing vines. You know those yellow vines? A lot of yellow vines had taken over coconut trees on the coastland, and you saw those vines. And then I was standing there and sketching, you see, and one of my friends passed saying, "Are you sketching the gentleman in the gardens?" It was a gentleman, so it became a joke. The gentleman in the gardens. Was I sketching the president in the gardens? What gray man among the vines is this, whose words are dry and faint as in a dream? Where a few lilies blow. At that time, when I painted the water lilies, they were very, very attractive, but I didn't know the water lilies were really the lotus lily. They were just water lilies, and I remember Hopkins, not Hopkins, was it? I have desire to go in fields where flies no sharp and sided hail. And in that poem you had the line, you want to go where just a few lilies blow. You want to be out where no storms come and out of the swing of the sea. So that summed up my feeling with the politics of the day. To me, there was a lot of dishonesty and hypocrisy And there seemed to be no hope for a revolution which would take place in Guyana and free us from dictatorship. I felt completely unnerved, and it was never going to happen. We had lost the momentum of struggle, and that happened in 1980. And even though there were a lot of slogans and a lot of cries and people saying the struggle goes on, I felt that the struggle could not go on. But maybe I was wrong. The struggle did go on for some people. But for me, it was just the end of the struggle and the end of hope. One day in the gardens, I saw a bird caught by an alligator. This is in the process of painting those scenes. And the bird was just there one moment, and the next moment it flew too close to the water, and the next moment it was just a feather. And then I realized there was an alligator which swallowed him. So I recall that incident in the gardens to really document how I felt and how death could happen suddenly. One moment you're here and the next moment you were gone. So you die and you grow old and you expect to die, but then one day you're not really old and this happens. So that bird, which was caught by the alligator in the gardens, captured that kind of dying, which for me, when I was looking for something which really captured how I felt, I used Margaret Carter's line, "What is the way to die?" And it comes from his poem, "A monk is muzzled by the food it eats to live." But life is the question, asking, what is the way to die? And so we have different kinds of death, and some of us are fortunate to grow old and die, and some are just caught accidentally or caught quickly, and in one moment only a feather is left. In the darker draft, I will continue on that theme of how we all feel using the birds. And then there was the Banff DIH competition, and I was encouraged to take part by one of my friends, and I thought I would give an ironic title to the painting, that here am I dealing with Banff DIH there, you know. So let me bring to their attention the dark draft. So I think that was taken from a line in Omar Khayyam. And that was awarded the Banff DIH Award, Independent Award. Times Bird continues the theme of time and what goes on and the questions which bother us. The next one. The Botanical Gardens, Love Coming to an End, that was part of the painting which I had done to record my father's death. It was, we have climbed the hills of you. It's Frost's poem, and in that line you had, it was the end of a season and the end of a love. Now, those are selected bits from my first exhibition, some of which I don't have photographs, and I can't locate some. Some of the paintings have disappeared and can't be located. Gentleman in the Garden series, I decided it was a very good reception when people saw that man at the gate, the gentleman at the gate. Some people asked me, "Are you recording the Grenada Revolution?" And I said, "No, this is what's happening right here." So I decided to do a series of paintings which, on that same theme, the Gentleman in the Gardens, which the gardens, of course, is a paradisiacal place, and the gentleman like a serpent. Now, most of my exhibitions, or nearly all of my exhibitions, I had Mrs. Addo, Rosamond Addo, and she was there and she was part of my exhibition. She would be reading from Martin Carter or Wilson Harris or from Hopkins, John Crow Ransom, those poems. And so there she is in 1986 in the Brazilian Center, and she's starting with "This is a Dark Time, My Love." And that was one of the poems we had also recorded in the Botanical Gardens. And we played it so many times to those children, as well as in subsequent exhibitions in which I featured the gentleman in the gardens. So I thought I would give you a little treat by hearing her voice once again.
This is the dark time, my love. All around the land, brown widows crawl about. The shining sun is hidden in the sky. Red flowers bend their heads in awful sorrow. This is the dark time, my love. It is a season of oppression, dark metal and tears. It is the festival of guns, the carnival of misery. Everywhere the faces of men are strained and anxious. Who comes walking in the dark night time? Whose boot of steel tramps down the slender grass? It is the man of death, my love. The strange invader, watching you sleep and aiming at your dream.
Yes, so at nearly all of my exhibitions, Mrs. Addo came along and she read from Martin Carter's poetry. And I think that came about because of both of us were trying to avoid officialdom. We didn't want to be seen as part of officialdom. So normally at exhibitions and so on, at functions in Guyana, you always have to have somebody from officialdom to officiate. And we didn't want that. So that was one of the things that we dreamed of. We are not going to have any officials here. We will simply have music and poetry. And that was what we did all the time, most of the time. So Martin Carter's poems, and especially his poems of resistance, were very, very inspiring, and I used his words to show or to underline our situation in the 80s especially, that we had lived under colonial times when he did those poems in the 50s, and in the 80s it seemed that if it was happening, it was worse. So what he was describing, colonial oppression, was also happening in the 80s. And I guess it will continue to happen at this time. It goes on. So it wasn't just to record our colonial experiences, because I do remember faintly how we were when the colonial soldiers came to Guyana, and everybody was living, as Martin Carter said, in fear, and the brown beetles were crawling around. I do remember that my father, I remember him taking out his Polish papers, a very crisp white paper, and it was a communist paper, and he gathered all of them up and he burned them outside. And I was small at the time, but I thought it was a very serious thing. And then they would whisper together at times, late in the evenings, they would be whispering about Uncle Bali in prison, these people, all the others who were in prison. And so Martin Carter's poems really reflected what was happening in colonial times, but which we were too young to understand at the time. And so in the 80s, I thought his poems would also underline our post-colonial reality, that we have moved from colonial oppression to a post-colonial oppression. So white birds like dreams come settling down. That is from Death of a Slave. And for me, it echoed the period we were in. There was no hope. No matter people were saying the struggle goes on, for me there was no hope. And his poem, Death of a Slave, in which the slave dies, he dies and he likens him to an old man falling, and then the birds settle down when the slave dies. So that was a poem Martin Carter was reflecting on, the death of a slave, on the slavery. And I felt in 1980s that it was, the birds had settled down, the things in your spirit, what made you want to dream, what made you want to escape and fly away, that symbol, the birds. And it's always in his poems. If you read his poems, you will see the birds coming in and the birds coming out. And so it is a very simple symbol reflecting our human condition, our human spirit. And at times you really don't feel that you can fly and you're in a prison. And then as the years go by, you have life goes on. The water lily blossoms and the birds continue to fly, and you reflect on birds and sunlight. You long for birds and sunlight, but life goes on. And the lotus blossoms and birds fly in and out, and life, you make out, you endure. Who comes walking in the dark night time? That's from This is the Dark Time. Who comes walking in the dark night time? Whose boot of steel tramps down slender grass? It is the man of death, my love, the strange invader, watching you sleep and aiming at your dream. Now, of course, this was in the 1950s, but I am talking about the 1980s. Now, this painting came about as a result because when I showed my painting, nobody saw the gentleman with a gun. I think only Dr. Jonas. And I saw my write-up at exhibitions in the Chronicle, and nobody seemed to see the man with a gun, and I was very disappointed. Mr. Rashid Osman wrote about it. Miss K. Wall wrote about it in Catholics, and she brought it up. And so because I was dissatisfied that man with a gun was not being noticed, I decided to paint the whole painting with a man with a gun. Just the man with a gun. And it was a piece of canvas that Mr. Austin had given me. It was water soaked. And in those days you couldn't get canvas, you couldn't get paints, and I was so stingy. I didn't want to trim the canvas. I didn't want to trim out a whole big piece. As a result of it, you have the edges of the canvas all cracked up today. So you can see, if you look at that painting, you will see the cracked up edges. But it was water soaked because I think Austin's, that bookstore suffered a fire and a lot of water was used to put it out. So when I got the piece of canvas, I think he gave it to me. He gave me the canvas because that piece was water soaked. So that's a little piece of canvas which I said, well, if they want to describe this painting, they would have to say it's a soldier there. You don't have any foliage and landscape behind and birds. So Gentlemen in the Gardens came about one day when it was May Day, and I think there were a lot of soldiers in the May Day parade in those days. Soldiers took part in the May Day. And what astounded me was there was the big truck and the steel pan, and they were beating out boots and more boots, the government boots, left, right, and the soldiers were there marching and kind of moving in rhythm to left, right, the government boots. The government boots. I think, I don't remember all the words, but his Calypsonian Gabi, And his calypso was banned in Barbados, but there it was being played in Guyana. And the soldiers were kind of dancing to the tune on the street. So I was quite amused. And I think when I had soldiers, they were dancing, but then I tried to modify them so that they wouldn't look as if they were dancing. Okay, the next series of paintings called the Lotus of Time started from that painting there, that one on the wall there, Lotus. In the meantime, I had discovered that it was the famous sacred lotus. And I want to say that my interpretations, they are my individual interpretations and my level of understanding. Some people might have different interpretations, and they might quibble with some of my works which have come out of these kinds of reading. Now, we all know the lotus, and the lotus which is in the trenches and where it came from. And for me at that time, the lotus was very, very impermanent and transient, and I started to read about the sacred lotus, and I said, everything is temporal, transient. The lotus is beautiful on one day, and in 2 days, right in front of me in my own trench, there is the lotus. And I thought that we are all like the lotuses. One day we are here and our beauty vanishes. And of course I'm a very vain person, and it seems that beauty itself never lasts. And there was the lotus. 2 days it's bright pink, and then it starts to fade, and then the petals fall. So it was the lotus of time, not the timeless lotus which I read about. The timeless lotus was the sacred lotus which continues all the time. And so the series came about, the Lotus of Time, counterpointing what I read about the lotus of pain. The lotus of 100 petals? Question mark. Was it really of 100 petals? The petals kept disappearing. Then the lotus of July, the month of July, when the rain falls and you see the lotus come very bright, and the rain falls and collects on the leaves. A beautiful transient sight. The lotus of 1,000 desires. That was a counterpoint to the lotus of the philosophy of detachment, that we should do things with disinterest and with detachment. And I didn't think too much of that. I said, we are all full of desires. We want this, we want that. As soon as we get one thing, we want something else. So that was a painting which captured a human condition of wanting, and not the lotus of desire, not the lotus of detachment. The lotus among the busy was just in front of my bridge, and there was the busy taking over the trench. It was not being cleaned, and yet the lotus persisted. In 1990, it was not a sudden thing, but it dawned on me that the lotus was indeed a lotus which showed continuities and which would not disappear. It would come again over and over. Out of its seeds would spring new lotuses, and the lotus would go on forever. And in a sense, it was a little comforting that there's some things in nature, some things in life which go on and which return. So that was the beginning of my realization that it was indeed a sacred lotus. The Lotus of my great-grandmother series came about because I was investigating. I was hearing stories of my great-grandmother who had come in 1871. I heard some very colorful stories. I heard lots of inspiring stories. But the one story which inspired me was when my great-grandfather was being converted by Reverend Cropper. And he went out without her knowledge. And she was able to find out that he was going to be baptized. And so she landed in church with his brother, and they proceeded to take off, to hold up Mr. Crocker and pull off his, whatever he was wearing, his cassock, and they dragged him out of the church. And according to my mother, his head was bounced at every step, and that was a big laugh because he's fighting them up, and they're dragging him on the floor down the short steps, and his head was bounced, and I had a good laugh. And I said, my great-grandmother did that. She did that to the great white man who was trying to do good for my great-grandfather, and it became very inspiring, and I said, look what she did, and I know I have that tendency to behave somewhat like that. So I felt a real affinity with my great-grandmother. And then I asked my mother, well, how come she allowed him to be converted? She said, well, he got sick. And she invited Reverend Copper to come, and we prayed, and he got better. And so she said she would allow him to be converted. But of course she was never converted. So it was something for a woman at that stage to give up on everything, to be in a kind of liminal space. And her children all becoming converts because Reverend Cobble told my great-grandfather that he would send one to be trained as a doctor, and this one would be this, and so they were all educated. And most of my grandfather's brothers, they became headmasters. One became a doctor, he was trained in Canada, and so Reverend Crowell kept his promise, and they felt they really benefited from the conversion. But I felt that it was a kind of opportunism which existed at that stage. And later on I felt that it was a real loss, a real cultural loss. So how would I paint in an authentic way, which using colors, not my money colors, lemon yellow and sap green and ultramarine, how could I paint in a way which would be authentic, which would reflect a reality which my great-grandmother possessed, what she had, her heritage. And so I decided to discard my money palette, and I focused on the colors around me. I searched for a new color that I could use, and right around me in the backyards you would see bright colors, you would see people from rural areas wearing unlikely combinations of colors. You would see on ceremonial occasions the brightest colors. So I thought here was an aesthetic of color which was very different and which some people looked down upon, and I would use those colors. So here you have 1991 holy color reflecting those bright hues. Then that was just a preliminary exploration of color. And then Lotus of my great-grandmother, Myth and Memory. How did she think of the motherland? It was the myth of the motherland and the spirit and passion that she showed, which I tried to capture in that painting. The myth of Mother India, a very romantic place with bright, bright colors. So Lotus of my great-grandmother, number 3, I was also reading some of the literature period, Upanishads, and trying to understand the philosophical values of people around me and my great-grandmother and others, Hindus especially, different set of values. And in the Upanishad we had the bird of silence looking on at the bird of song. And in trying to understand those, my own interpretation, a part of you looks on at another part of you. One part of you is longing to enjoy and to pick the fruit, and the other part of you looking on in silence. So it was the concept of self and self, the lower self and the higher self. Maya. Another concept which I explored, and of course my own interpretation, the concept of reality as in a state of flux, reality as illusion, reflection, relativity. I gathered that from the readings of Swami Vivekananda, and it was very complex, but in the painting I tried to show that the lotus is real and at the same time it's a reflection. Is it in the water or is it above the water? You don't know. So in a very simple way, I tried to expound the concept of Maya or relativity or life is just a phenomenon, kind of sort of similar to what Plato said of reality. You know, the flickering shapes and the flickering forms in a cave, and those shadows is what we think is reality. So, Lotus of 1,000 petals. Here the lotus becomes a symbol of not just the individual, it is also a symbol of the one in many and the many in one, which Margaret Carter pointed out to me that, of course, that's from the Bhagavad Gita as well, that the lotus is singular and it is also plural. And there's no polarity or duality in that concept, that we are singular, but we are also plural. We have a plurality of petals and leaves, and it goes on, and the two are not really conflicting. Now, readings from the Quran. Of course, quite a lot of my paintings start off with what's going on in the world at large, and in 1990 there was the Gulf War. And also in 1990, I think we had just gotten a TV. So for the first time, I was seeing close up what a war could look like. Because before we only read about it, we read reports, we read afterwards of what went on. But here in my black and white TV, in 1990, I could see close up of the war which was taking place. I saw how the reporters behaved. I saw how the soldiers behaved. They were shouting out up Saddam's butt and give it to them, Uncle Sam. And, oh, one said it was the 4th of July. And so I said, well, this is really, really terrible. Why is it that so much aggression is displayed against people? I don't know why the war started, but you had reasons, I suppose, and you had the invasion of Kuwait and so on. But what I was concerned about was the human damage. That many, many people were killed, many civilians were killed. And you had a close-up of the scene. It was of total destruction. And the painting was a result of those conflicting responses. It was the 4th of July and it was not the 4th of July. There, through the telescopes, you could see the destruction. And of course, the man with the gun, I was reading the Quran, and the man with the gun. The Quran says the man with that the devil has blue eyes. And so I deliberately put the man with the gun with blue eyes and focus in on some of the destruction missiles, which everybody was, not everybody, the soldiers were very pleased about the missiles because it reminded them of the 4th of July and it was very beautiful. And here you have the cosmos, and the cosmos is transformed by missiles. And of course, in reading the Quran somewhere, somebody said, "O Muhammad, hadst thou not been, I would not have created the sky." So it was very, very ironic. In every surah of the Quran, there is the beginning of it in the name of Allah, the Beneficent. merciful. So there's an invocation to the merciful and the benevolent God. And also it invokes the heavens, the cosmos, the stars and the universe, beautiful universe. So it was very, very strange that people are regarded as militant and warriors and unholy. And there you have their holy books. And the book reflects poetry and magic and an apprehension of God in the universe. So this is what I try to do with this series, starting with my own reading. So I experimented with the Arabic, which I don't know. But in the first reading, you look at the sky and man begins to read God in the universe. I think I noticed that in the Quran, that man was just a clot. And then when he saw God in the universe, he read the universe, the stars and the moon and the beauty of the universe, and he could see God. So that was the beginning of man. Only when you can do that, you become fully human. You see God in the universe. And it sounded like, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So, the Lotus of Bliss, Islamic paradise, the gardens of bliss. Well, we hear all kinds of things about the gardens of bliss, and when you die, what happens, and people have seized on all kinds of, I don't know where they got that from. But for me, the gardens of bliss, underneath which rivers flow, and since I have been painting the lotus, I fill the gardens with lotuses and the stars become lotus, the blossoming stars, the blossoming lotus, and at the bottom the Arabic says the mansions of stars, because the stars are so many, you have mansions of them. Here I was looking at the lotus, the real lotus, and the star, and it struck me that the star was also an abstract lotus. So I try to use the two symbols, the star and the lotus, to show that even though it's abstract, it's also an organic symbol, and there is an interconnectedness between what is abstract and what is organic. The mosque, and sometimes we hear children singing going to the mosque, and their voices were very melodious. They're going in the afternoon to learn, and they're reciting from the Quran. And I said, it's very, very beautiful, and the music, the song is very, very lovely. And so I tried to paint that painting which captured the beauty and the loveliness of children singing their melodious voices. I'm going to masjid to say my prayers. And the mosque at Shadmargo, everyone has commented on the mosque at Shadmargo. I remember Bobby Fernandez doing the mosque at Shadmargo, a very unique architecture. And when you look closely, you see just local materials. And the local materials are done in such a way that the architecture looks very, very light and transient and not clumsy and made out of concrete. It's a reflection of the heavens, the celestial, on the terrestrial. And you look closely at the coconut trees in the background. The coconut trees in the background of the mosque also resemble stars. The structure was also like stars. So I decided to fuse the concept of the celestial or the heavens with the terrestrial. And that, I think, is also part of Islamic philosophy. And my last painting, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent and the Merciful. For everything in the sky, the earth, and in between has been created for man by God. And I thought that my readings Quran. Should end with that. Because painting, I gather, must be in the service of God or your conscience, not in the service of some local deity or God or corporation or government. Your painting must come out of you and your conscience. The next series which I'm showing you would be my investigation of the flags which we have around us. And we all call them Jandy flags. The word Jandy means flag, but we all say Jandy flags. And I know that the flag is not really seen as a work of art. It's just a symbol of the folk culture around us. But I wanted to put that in the realm of fine art, the visual arts. And mostly women make these flags. And women sit down and make embroidered flags. They do the edges and so on. Right? So if you investigate the flags, you will see that the flags have special meanings, and the flags, of course, fade. And they are meant to fade with time, because there's nothing really eternal about the flags. And you leave them to fade until they become rags. So the shapes I put there are also shapes which I investigated. I spoke to Pandit Padiram, he's now deceased, and he gave me some of the meanings. For example, why is the flag like that right-angled triangle? He said, the end of that, the flag, the one going out towards the right side, that represents infinity. And it was very, very interesting that you could have a triangle. And there you have infinity and space represented by that end. And of course the top piece of Jay said, of course God, heaven, the point. You're aspiring towards that. And where I said was the earth, and he said that part by the bottom there, that's hell or earth. So the concepts of time and space were very interesting to me, because we were all kind of focused on the rectangle and focused on capturing linear perspective, since the Renaissance in European art. You try to capture the three-dimensionality of the scene in front of you, and that's a different concept of space, also a different concept of time. And frequently in my investigations, I would see the square and the circle. The square, of course, I don't know where I got that from, but I think the square, my interpretation, but I probably got it from something, the square symbolizes the contained mind, the contained perception, what you cannot get rid of. And the circle outside represents what has no beginning, what has no end, it is eternity. So of course we have a mind and we have a perception which can't go beyond that perception. Our mind is always conditioned. That square represents containment. So I also found a very interesting icon, Kali, from Hindu iconography. And Kali also is time. And of course I'm obsessed by time. What the hell is time? Time, of course, is created by man. Time doesn't really exist. It's a part of mind. But in Hinduism, Kali is represented as the goddess of destruction as well. And she wears those aspects of destruction. She consumes us all. She wears a garland of skulls because time consumes all of us. All of us will one day be a skull lying in the ground or cremated or somewhere. So Kali has that garland of skulls, and she represents time, and she's very fierce and powerful. So this was my representation of the flags in mixed media, and the poles, and the gods, the Hindu gods of the Hindu pantheon. And I've included the Christ in it because I know in many altars Christ is also included. Christ is seen as a God, a deity. And then of course I made a Muslim flag. I don't know who is from. I haven't said that aloud in many of my lessons. A Muslim flag there. So the installation is based on all the vivid ceremonial flags that we see around us. And on these flags you see the gods are affixed. The colors represent the gods. For example, when you see the red flag, it is Hanuman, the very humble servant of God, red. So when people are doing hoisting a flag or planting a flag simultaneously, they are paying homage to the god. And here in Guyana, I think the flags and seeds of God have been planted. That's one detail on the flag, Ganga, Shin. Sometimes you see people making offerings to Ganga, even in the trench near to you, because the trench is part of that mytho-poetic reality that the Ganga flows into the ocean flows here, and so we have continuity of that goddess who dwells in the Himalayas on Shiva's head. So the ocean is also seen as Mother Ganga. So when you see those flags have the mytho-poetic reality of many Hindus, which is a very marvelous thing, has been transported here. And when they have their ceremonies and they make offerings to Ganga or to Hanuman, and the offerings to Ganga go into the nearest trench or the nearest canal, so it's a mythopoetic thing. Even though I sometimes see lotus leaf, and the lotus leaf has offerings. And as soon as they put it and they go back to the ceremony, sometimes the goat comes and eats it up. So it doesn't matter. It is just that mythological reality, and you are going through that ritual. So ritual is a very important thing, and it has all kinds of profound meanings, some of which I don't understand, because it is so profound. Later on, looking at our situation in this country, the way in the Caribbean, I decided to do a piece of irony, convert the prayer flag into an American flag, and the soldier as a deity, because the soldier is deified. Some of us deify those soldiers. And to me, at the time, when I looked at all the military interventions in the Caribbean, Grenada, Haiti, Guyana, it was just the military ascendancy of the United States. And we're living in the backyard, and this is what we have to endure. So I made that flag as an ironical construction, the way things are in this part of the hemisphere. The man with the moon was instigated, I think they were carrying out some bombing on the moon. You know? They were bombing the moon as an experiment, some little thing. And I recall when they planted the flag on the moon, who was it, Mr. Reagan? He said this was the next best thing after creation. So that was also an ironical construction. A flag on the earth, Guyana 2001. In 2001, we had quite a few disturbances in Regent Street. The buildings went up. And I wanted to capture that feeling, because how do you feel within and without? And I look at the planet, and of course there were other things going on with the human planet. And how did I reflect that? What is going on? Inside the planet you have fire. It's very hot. Inside of us, what's going on? We're in a state of turmoil. So that picture has that earth. It has Guyana inside, and it's kind of breaking up. And on the flag I planted my favorite instrument of the time, Kali, the goddess of destruction. In cases where you have Kali represented, she is also literally the goddess of destruction, besides being the concept of time. There are many levels of interpretation. And here's a homage to Mother Earth. My cousins have a Durga Puja, which is the Durga Path ritual. Of course, I asked the family questions with what they're doing, and I came with my own interpretation of that ritual, where they planted flags in a little square, and all the little squares represented 9 aspects of the female, because you were paying homage to the Mother Earth, the Earth Goddess. And the Earth Goddess has many aspects. She has her fierce aspect, Kali and so on. She has her compassionate aspect, Lakshmi. She's Durga, the yellow, the woman riding the tiger, and so on. So that was my visual interpretation, and the way I set it out. And of course, there were lots of offerings, 9 offerings to the 9 goddesses. I couldn't really fit them in. And they would go off and give the offerings to the goddesses. The Tree of Life, my own creation as well. It's based on the little known green flag. You don't see the green flag often, but when you see it, you inquire about it. And it is a homage to Mother Earth. And that is green, of course, is an appropriate color because Mother Earth is green. Normally, when people have weddings, Hindus have weddings, they have a Manipur ritual. And if you look at the Manipur ritual, you go down and see what they're doing, you'll see they're offering 7 offerings to Mother Earth. And they have flowers lined up, rice and so on, and little leaves where they put in the offerings. And these offerings are made to Mother Earth so that she could bless the married couple. A bit of the earth is dug up. You dig a piece of the earth and you take it back to the wedding house. And the mother of the bride and so on, they all dance back to the wedding house with a little dirt, which is symbolical of earth, the Mother Earth. And that goes under the wedding tent. Now, all of this is invoking the Mother Earth so that the couple could have their blessings. So that's how I pictured it. The Tree of Death came, it was in 2010, and I had done that Tree of Life, and I decided I would do a Tree of Death because there was the Lusignan massacre which affected all of us on the East Coast there, and the horrible sight of children on the seashore being, cremated. And little flags are normally put up when somebody dies. You have a flag, you put a flag, a black flag, at your gate, so the community can know that there's a death in this family. So I thought of black flags, and I thought of the leaves, and a camphor burning the leaf out, and the whole symbolism of the fire burning, and you're going back to the earth. So it was 9 leaves, 9 offerings to the earth. I don't think they were all Hindu, some of them were not. And the leaf normally would have a piece of camphor which would be lit, and the leaf would be burnt up. So that to me symbolized the way we look at death and how we come to terms with death. We live and die. This doesn't belong to any series, but it's piece of work, piece of canvas. And we were totally affected by what went on in the East Coast. If you recall, it was in 2001, 2002, and there were lots of what they're now calling troubles. And there was murder and rape and kidnapping and so on. And we felt totally frightened. In the evening, you had to close up your doors and you couldn't come out. On the UG Road, there were several killings and so on. And I know that some of them were drug killings. But that experience was so horrible, I decided to paint Cali victorious, the soldiers in the background, looking on passively. Nothing is being done. I put myself in the Lotus because I was so fearful. People are kidnapped, people are raped, and they are beaten to death. And on the East Coast, we called it that we were living on the Gaza Strip, and it was as if the inferno in Palestine was coming alive. But blue sakis and hairy worms in the jamming tree. I guess I was reflecting on our own condition of mortality and beauty. The blue sakis coming every year, coming to peck at the jamun. And of course, the hairy worm always catching you and you're itching and it goes in your clothes and it's saying, here you have a lot of beauty, you have jamun, so we're getting nice jamun drink. And the blue sakis come and it's very beautiful. So I try to capture that kind of paradox. Now, I have a glimpse of the India series, which I was commissioned to make drawings mostly. Drawings of my trip, how I felt. I was able to visit the caves of Ellora, and it was a very profound experience. Downstream, bullets. At the supermarket next to me, there were a lot of bullets going firing. I think I became the downstream. There is Lotus in the time of the Arab Spring, and the lotuses are in Sheriff Street. Beautiful lotuses growing, and the Arab Spring is going on in my television while I'm painting. And of course I'm caught up, I don't know why I'm caught up in revolutions. Always I'm caught up. I get up early in the morning and want to see what's happening. Is Mubarak gone? Is he finally gone? Wishing that beast can go. And it takes a long time. So you have the lotus in the time of the Arab Spring, and the lotus is stirring into bullets and wounds. My last series, Rainforest, in which I look at the rainforest and I was looking at the low carbon development strategy, which was on television regularly, and I was thinking, what can we do in the face of God, in the face of nature, which is all powerful? My last series, Rainforest, in which I look at the rainforest and I was looking at the low carbon development strategy, which was on television regularly, and I was thinking, what can we do in the face of God, in the face of nature, which is all powerful? I wonder if we could really make an impact. And so out of those musings, I painted the rainforest and the goddesses of time and the goddesses of destruction and infinity. That balance, that Fiddle and Shane background, it's time dealing with death. And with me as well. Kali, the goddess of time, that catches all of us. Fidel, I think next year Fidel died. Latitudes of Grief is just another one that fits in what's happening in Wales Estate. I use Martin Carter's poetry in the blackness. But that's not a discussion, that was just sampling of some of the series which I can't tackle at this stage. I hope I haven't bored you with my presentation.